Welcome to the Ghost Recon Wildlands Co-op Play Part 2 on the Northern Soul channel. I'm going to continue on. This is Part 2.
It's a pleasure to be talking with you.
Now, can you confirm or deny these exciting rumors floating around
I was
the campfire?
talking in the last part about the plane, the cars, the motorbikes. I guess every vehicle other than the helicopters is kind of, the controls are what you expect them to be. So I'm going to come in for a landing here.
He has a special gift. Sigue así, chiquillo.
Neta? Is it fully submersible?
Yeah.
Or is it one of these floaters that hangs around
And of course, any landing you can walk away from is a good one, right? So
where to come get their supplies.
once you deliver it to the rebels and you get your green light on your bonus, it's pretty much see you later. Don't care about your crappy prop plane, crop duster. So we'll just grab one of these heavy gunships. Happen to be at the rebel base that we're on, and as you can see, we're in someplace quite cold and very high altitude. Really neat the details in the landscape. Somebody obviously did some research onto you know, at certain altitudes the snow starts to accumulate and just stay there, and you can see with the lack of vegetation as well with the altitude as well. So probably a bit uncomfortable in the aircraft, I'd imagine. Really pretty cold. You can see kind of a mist in the background. I'm really surprised, even though the weather changes. There's a lightning bolt back there. And sometimes you'll see thunder and lightning in the distance, and that doesn't mean that it's gonna rain on you. You have to actually go there. The clouds have to actually move in for you to get that weather. But it doesn't mean you don't see it, which is pretty cool. There's another aircraft messing with it. Now the place is so vast. We're here to pick up another bonus. And to go across that area, you really do, if you want to do it in a timely fashion, you really do need aircraft. So specifically, I think a helicopter is going to be about as important in this game as what it was in Vietnam. If you take a vehicle, it seems like the place is even bigger in a vehicle. It's just, the scale of it's crazy. So the good part with the aircraft we're checking out is that you don't have to touch down for people to get out, and you don't have to touch down in order to pick people up, as long as you're pretty close, because some places you can't really land.
Know where it is so they can pick it up.
Phew, here I thought you might want us to carry the damn thing out of here ourselves.
So you can drop off snipers or whatever on top of hills or places you can't land an aircraft, and then bugger off somewhere else and set up, and then pick them back up so they're not like just stranded there, have to fall off or whatever. The guy on motor, he jumped off early, tends to do that. So right here I can't really land it, the slope's way too steep here, so he'll have to meet me at the bottom. And I haven't found the rudder controls in this game at all, which is really weird. So I would just normally spin the tail around with the rudder control, but it's non-existent in this game from what I can tell. So the plane and everything, there's no rudder. Otherwise, I just swing the tail out of the way and come down, you know, and show the door to a moat there, and he can just climb in. But you know, to have to like fly out, turn around to this big circle sort of thing. So that's kind of a weird aspect of flying here. So once you get to enough speed, we've got rockets out. So typically you'll push down on the stick to move forward, because at slow speed, the right trigger and left trigger adjusts your altitude, and your pitch is controlled by your analog stick, your left stick. So, but once you get to a certain speed, what you'll notice is as you're pushing forward on the stick, it'll nosedive, and at that point, that's the crossover portion. That now the right trigger is what gets you to move forward instead of pushing down, or in this case forward, on the analog stick.
Deploying drone.
I think that's what people are getting messed up with on the aircraft, is there's a certain point
I could put this to use.
that the controls actually change. So pushing forward's not acceleration anymore like it is at slow speed. It's like pitch control. So the right trigger is now forward momentum, much like a vehicle. And then if you let off the trigger, it'll flare. And then slow the helicopter down to what is a slower speed, and then the controls change back, they revert back. So kind of tricky, but I can understand why they did that, because probably the vastness of the map, just to get around quick enough, they just added this sort of secondary at speed control of the helicopter. But I'm sure straight away people aren't even aware of it, so they're like, well, I don't even understand what's going on. So here we're demonstrating, we figured out you can shoot drones out even in the helicopter at altitude. So we're using the helicopter as a stable platform, and it is stable enough that you can snipe from it. So if you want an elevated position out of range, and I imagine if you have a good enough optic and a good enough sniper rifle, you can definitely do your business at range. The only place it's not going to be effective is if they have anti-aircraft artillery, or the missiles, the SAM sites. It's going to be a problem. So there's two drones flying around right there. You can see the icons. And we're actually above the altitude of the tower in the background. So we've got a better advantage, height advantage, than even the watchtower. So as we're satisfied with the intelligence, we're just going to skip around the perimeter. Yes, I think that's the idea. I think there's going to be a drop off here, sniper drop off on the hill. Tactically, whoever's got the height has the advantage. So, and there is bullet drop in this game. So at a certain distance, I'm not sure if it's dependent on caliber, if it's that detailed, but there's definitely at range there is bullet drop. So you have to compensate for that at more extended ranges. Definitely start to see it. You start to see it probably at 200 meters, probably about 300 it is kind of apparent. So depending on what you're shooting, you have to drop down half a hash mark or a full mark on your scope.
He's down.
I'm just kind of hanging back.
That play rolls is shit.
There's advantage. You can play it any way you want, obviously, but sometimes if you just want to be a bit more chill and stuff, maybe you just want to be like the pilot, like what I'm demonstrating here. I'm just hanging back, making sure they have a ride out of there. And really, sniper teams in real life are two-man teams anyway. So
Bad guys in the area.
I've seen that in the demo where there's one guy floating about, 2 or 3 guys, and there's one guy making sure that there's always a vehicle ready for them. That might be a way to go, but you'd have to play co-op, right? I don't know how. I doubt that would work real well with public co-op, because everybody would be just doing your own thing.
Right there.
They'd probably complain about you saying that you're, you know, riding their coattails or something like that. Getting free XP or whatever. So once you're in a hover, you can really control the helicopter. You can really ease in.
He's dead.
So you can see it's not difficult to fly once you kind of get the idea of the helicopter. I think it's going to be, like I said, a vital part of the game.
Clear.
The sound effects in the game are top notch, just amazing. Really beefy, like bass and certain things. When you shoot and hit somebody with a bullet, that definitely sounds like a high-speed projectile hitting something that's 80% water for sure. It's a very satisfying thud, and the explosions are great. So when you hit the always a red barrel floating around in these things. That's a satisfying explosion as well, or those big storage fuel tanks. Rip a couple rounds in them, get the fire going.
Eyes up.
Pretty much
Got
shake the
hostiles
screen.
in the area. Everybody hold up. We got hostiles in the area. Hold up. They're gonna see you. That's one down.
So at this point, this is they cleared the perimeter, and I think the secondary where you got to do a hacking, but it's like timed, it's like emergency hack. So everybody's going to be collecting right now. So searching, as I tell you, yeah, here's one here, here's one here. We don't have the dialogue between us right now,
This
but
metal has a coca plant on it. It's kind of
well,
cool.
at least if somebody finds something, it shows up on the map as a green icon, which is pretty cool. So there's your plus 50. It's not a lot, but it adds up, right? Like, you're already there, you might as well just throw a tracker on it. It makes you feel like you're doing something for these deadbeat rebels. Not just light colored hats, apparently. And if you're a bit of a prepper, you'll never walk by ammo resupply without tapping into that.
Demo is set.
So one friend here, I think it was Deadpool here, he's got C4 charges that he upgraded to as a skill. I didn't have them. I put it into other stuff, but
Got the C4 in place.
so he's got C4 for everybody on all the doors. So we're gonna storm. Everybody's grabbing a door. We're not stacking at this point, because obviously that would be a way to do it, but we're just going to each grab a door. Pretty confident in our skills to independently take care of business. So I'm standing back for the explosion. Of course, if we're ready, boom. Okay, so it's like go, go, go. Of course, you have night vision goggles in the game as well. At this point, I had heat vision, or thermal vision. But I find with the night vision, it's just everything's green. I don't find it necessarily brightens anything, so I just kind of stay away from it. So I found the computer. I wish I could hack or type that
the
quick.
rebels a reason to grow some balls.
Yeah, silly rebels. We're doing some mop-up operations now. So people hiding in closets and stuff.
We're back in there.
Obviously, Emote found the chat little thing where it's like icon thing. Well done. You know, regroup, stuff like that. Quiet. Which I'm sure most people, if you're doing public, will probably just ignore. And we're laughing because we're on chat anyway, so it's not like we can't just talk about it instead of having that. But there might be somebody that, you know, doesn't have microphone hooked up there, they're not on party chat. I kind of find that's kind of the best part of the game, is just being on chat. And you know, while you're in between missions, you're talking about missions during a mission, but in between it's like you're talking just like these guys would be talking about in between getting from point A to point B. Small talk. So you'll see this, the nose slightly tilt down right there. That means it switches over from pushing forward on the stick to right trigger acceleration. And then you just hold the, you're not even holding or doing anything with the stick, you're just holding the right trigger and it'll continue to propel you forward at full speed. And then you have the other normal controls of what you kind of expect. Here we got some item collection. Kind of neat. And not annoying. It's not like stupid stuff like Assassin's Creed where it's like, oh, get 100 feathers that are in stupid places you can hardly reach. Not like annoying and stupid. It's like, cool, let's put one here. Happens to be a little shelter here, so it's something to look at. Like, okay, I can actually imagine somebody having a paper there or whatever you're picking up, as opposed to a feather on top of a flagpole floating around in space. You got to climb or whatever. It's just busy work. I hate when games just put in busy work. Like, here, collect a bunch of stupid stuff that doesn't matter. Just to artificially extend the game, right? So if you do it with all collection, then all of a sudden, oh, that's like a 10-hour game. No, it's more like a 2-hour game. But you put stupid busy work in, you know, to try to fool me into thinking that you got some sort of value in the game. It's just, sorry, I'm not buying it.
The drone is deployed.
Yeah, I think if you're close enough to the drone, so if I follow the drones with the helicopter, it'll extend the ranges. Well, the range is dependent on where you are on the map, right? So if you start to get at the end of the range, then you just kind of move in. But you can upgrade the ranges and the drones. There's a lot of upgrades. So it's like extended battery, extended range, silent running. You can even get it to help with like noisemaker, so it distracts people, or hook up a bomb to it, EMP. There's tons of stuff. Eventually in the game that'll get, you know, unlocked if you help collect enough of those resources to upgrade and get skill points too. So it's two-part. Kind of funny, it's overkill to use rockets on people, but it's still satisfying, especially if you're not picking up the tab for those rockets. So there's the day-night cycles. Obviously we're in night here. But it's funny how, I know
Demo
they're,
is set.
when they're describing the game and stuff, they're talking
Grenade.
about, oh, you can go at night and, you know, people are like doing stuff that they do at night, like sleeping or whatever. And, oh, they might not see you, and if it's raining, they might not hear you shooting people and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when you're playing, you don't, we didn't care if it was day or night. We're all operations, all weather unit. You know, if it's nighttime, we're only attacking at night because it just happens to be nighttime. To be daytime, we don't care. And imagine most people be playing like that. Although if they're having a really hard time with a specific area or mission, I can see if it ramps up. Or people doing it that are a bit more serious and they're all hardcore and picking really hard difficulty, they might have to utilize these day-night cycles with the bad weather and all that stuff. Here's something to watch out for, which is actually at the SAM site here. Woo! So this is a problem, obviously, with helicopters and night. You don't have, you can't just fly around with impunity. And unfortunately, in the beta, there's that. I just crossed the border as well, so it's like return to the area or you die. But he got shot down on the wrong side of the line. And that's what happens, at least in the beta. So if you're on the wrong side of the line, out of bounds. So the big punishment for that was a load screen, and then they put us three idiots all on the border facing the correct direction with no helicopter. So as you do, we'll just tab it. With a little bit of good fortune like we had, somebody just left this Humvee here. You get pretty decent protection in it too. So once you start helping the rebels, start, you know, increasing this, that, and the other, then all of a sudden rebels start patrolling the roads, which is kind of cool. The initial thing, you don't even see them anywhere. Like there's a rebel vehicle right ahead of us there.
We've got a location on a Santa Blanca communications hub in Monteoc. I need you to hack the hub's message logs and see if we can ID the guy running their training program.
Bad guys in the area. I got a narco over here. There, inside the firing post.
This is usually my favorite part of the game. It's just you're coming up on something that's, you know, a mission critical, like part of the story, so to speak. And any of these bases where you're sneaking up and you're doing the intel, like, it's always problem solving, right? So you got to find out what you're up against and then what you're going to do about it. Of course, there's always the option of going just John Rambo in every situation. I don't know how well that'll work in every situation, but I mean, I think that's why this game's really going to appeal to a ton of people. And of course, they can't afford Windows, so you can fly your drone in through a window.
He makes 10.
Eyes on a small group of tangos.
So there's like 3 drones flying around right now. Everyone's got drones flying, doing intelligence here. You can see the drone's going out of range. Everything's getting a bit
Looking
staticky.
at a small group of tangos. Eyes on a small group of tangos.
So you don't want to just get the enemies. You want to try to find like all the other important stuff too, like where the ammo is and anything else for like collection wise. The good part is if you have a suppressor on, it flashes blue every time you select the weapon. If it's off, it'll flash red. So it kind of gives you a little visual heads up on where you're at. You don't want to be that guy. Like, oh, I forgot my suppressor. There's some really decent firearms in the game, I find, as well. All kinds of stuff, really, for everybody. There's some shotguns and light machine guns, sniper rifles, pistols, machine pistols. Of course, the assault rifles are there. Good selection of snipers. Seeing even there was a 50 cal in their semi-automatic. So a little something for everybody, and depending on your play style.
Shit, they spotted us.
I don't know why they had one of these armored personnel carriers outside with the keys left in it. Maybe because it's nighttime, I don't know. So Deadpool's in there right now, and I'm driving, and I'm just trying to drive so he's got a platform to shoot from. So we're too close there, he couldn't aim down, so I had to move into a different position. And we're relatively safe. Small arms fire is going to take forever to hurt this thing, so just basically just creeping up so that he can do massive use on that turret. So you know you don't bring like a gun to an APC fight, right?
Scratch.
It's kind of insulting. You kill them with their own weapon, you know what I mean? Like, look at this machine outside. Just very casual about it. Hotboxing, obviously, got the little crack in the windows there. Brought some Doritos with us, just having a good time there, just relaxed. It's hard being an operator, you know, you just need something to take the edge off and just go for a little drive like this. You know? I forget what they call this. I know a lot of the operators and stuff, they hate these vehicles because they're just bullet magnets. If you ever have to go up against one of these with the grenade launcher is the way to go. But even then, it takes quite a few direct hits. So you might want to put some upgrades and some points into your grenade launcher ammunition. Heads up.
Got it.
Got a laptop here. Looks like it's connected to the network. Let's see what we can get out of it. Downloading now. I'm pushing the tape direct to Bowman. Stand by. Bowman, this is Nomad. I'm sending you message logs from a cartel comm center here in Montauk. If we're lucky, the name of the cartel's senior instructor is in there.
I'm getting it now. Wait one. No joy. There's nothing in here that points to their top guy. There is something interesting, though. Looks like they've got search parties out looking for a deserter. One of their new recruits ran off a few days back. They think he might still be in the area.
How does that help us?
If he was in the training program for any length of time, it's possible he came into contact with our guy.
You think this deserter can give us an ID?
Only one way to find out.
Just another heads up. When they have the powered gates like that, I'm pretty sure if you're using one of their vehicles, they'll actually open the gate for you. You can drive in and be all like, surprise! Like Jack in the Box, you know, come out and just start tagging everybody.
We'll leave a marker so the rebels can pick up the supplies later.
Lazy rebels. There you go, have some food. Have some SpaghettiOs and stuff. Beefaroni. If you absolutely, after a while, like you detest all the radios that happen to be on, which is good because I think it's distracting so they don't notice a lot of the like sounds that you make. But if you're like, oh man, I can't take it, you can start shooting radios and that'll, you know, kill the sound at least for that specific area until you find the next radio. There's like 50 of them. And you can, don't forget to shoot lights if it's dark out as well. Kind of like Splinter Cell method. There's a lot of this sort of right after you clean out a place, everybody running around looking for stuff to tag. And of course, if you've got a little bit of prepper in you, you'd never walk past an ammo crate.
This is a commendation? Looks like it came from a box of cereal at the Air Force or something.
We got high-def television, but no paint on the walls. Oh, there's a point where it's like, I can't be asked to find the stairs, and just jump off.
Clear over here.
I think some of this does kind of get old, and it might get, I can see it getting old in the future where it's just like tagging. It's like, okay, I've done this. That remains to be seen, I guess, but the outfits are really cool too. There's a lot of options. You can look like very casual, all the way to like prepper to an actual like operator. And there's some, I think you can save up to 5 or 6 like outfits. You can like do a whole outfit and then save it and then go to the next one, save it. So you can swap out. So in this case, I took some time because I like that kind of stuff to In this case, I got like the outfit that's like my alpine cold weather outfit. So I got the whole tundra kind of gray sort of outfit where there might be some snow and stuff like that. You can see it pretty blends in pretty good. I left the gun paint job the way it was because, well, it's a beta, so I'm not getting too carried away on changing everything for realism's sake. I got like hung up on that. I was like, you can't beach these things, can you? A little bit of momentum goes a long way, that's for sure. First rule when driving in snow. Hey guys, somebody call a taxi. And of course everybody's in the menus. That's the other thing, you like finish up and stuff and then everybody's got to go check out if they got enough points and stuff to upgrade things and stuff like that. So there's usually like little dead periods like this, which is fine. People go to the bathroom, you know, get a snack, refill their drinks, you know.